Lucifer, the TV show, just ended with its sixth and final season, filled with heart bleeding and nostalgic moments. The Lucifer TV show is loosely based on the DC Vertigo comic book named Lucifer. And came out back in like 2000 or something like. As a comic reader myself, I was disappointed for the first few seasons, but when I come to accept and enjoy the show for what it is, it got better. And the comic is better in some parts, and the comic is better in the characters being actual gods and monsters, and the TV show is better at character development. The Celestials in the TV show are more grounded, mainly because they don't have enough CGI. Anyways, let's talk about season 6. The main story was basically Lucifer's daughter coming from the future. I'm sure the Lucifer producers watched The Flash season 5 because it also did the future daughter absent father thing. Like, yeah, I'm sure the producers watched it and they were like, yeah, it sucked. Let us do the exact same thing and show you how much better we make it. And yeah, it was much better than The Flash season 5. So yeah, I thought the story was pretty decent, much better than The Flash for sure. I'm just gonna review each episodes with my notes written at the time. Episode 1. I thought it was okay. The opening scene reminded me of the opening of the pilot episode, and I think it's even the exact same cop. I never really I don't really remember. And I never really cared for any of the one-off murder mysteries. I never really found them interesting. And I did enjoy last season's Dan prank episode, though. Like, this episode was more character driven than plot. I liked seeing Lucifer viewing himself as unworthy of being God and how Ella just kind of guilt tripped him unknowingly. I really hope Ella gets on the secret this season. I like seeing Chloe being obsessed with being a detective. Also, that dinner drama with Amenadiel, Linda, and Mazikeen and Eve. I thought it was fine. It was to make a point that Eve and Mazikeen are staying on Earth. I didn't really care about the whole Amenadiel motivating Linda thing. Oh, and yeah, I totally forgot about Dan being dead. Yeah, he's still in hell. The TV show version of hell is really off. Like, it's based on one's guilt, meaning like people who don't feel guilty would go to heaven, and like, what about people like the Joker, or like who do terrible things and feel no guilt at all? Like, do they go to heaven? Anyways, this episode ended with a cliffhanger and some thick thighs. I have absolutely no idea who it is because I didn't watch the trailer. It could be Elaine Ballock from the comics, although I highly doubt that. Also, this guy, Carol, he has a name, so yeah. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be the new Detective Douche. Episode 2. The opening scene was just Lucifer and Chloe monologuing on sex and vulnerability and explaining us their new sex powers. The MacGuffin for Lucifer in this episode was, I have to help people I don't care about. And this whole episode focused a lot on Ella and Carol, and I think it was done pretty well. Carol is literally a Dan replacement in so many ways, and I still don't care about the murder mystery, but I like the fact that these mysteries are helping develop the characters, like how Ella got rid of her paranoia and Lucifer coming to care about people. It's kind of unrealistic how every crime is affecting people, but these one-off crimes feel more important this way. Also, I love the chopsticks and kung fu move that Carol and Ella did on this new guy or whatever. Amenadiel and Linda were in this episode for like 5 minutes. Eve wasn't here at all. It's fun seeing Chloe enjoying her super strength and like training with Maze. And so yeah, and yeah, Michael, he's wingless and he's wingless and he's scrubbing floors in hell now. I still think that goth, red-winged, thick-thighs angel chick is Elaine Belloc in the comics is Michael's half-human angel daughter. Dan is once again being used by the villain of the season. I thought this episode was pretty decent. Episode 3, this was probably my favorite episode of the season, like so far. It had much more effect on Lucifer's journey into becoming a decent god, and the plot starts unraveling. Like, I knew it was Elaine Bellick, or I don't know if they're gonna change her name, like, although it seems like she's not Michael's daughter, but Lucifer's instead, so I don't know how that happened. I mean, Lucifer did bang a lot of people. This episode had no boring murder mystery. Instead it had this interesting hell mystery with Lucifer and Chloe looking into this Jimmy guy. I'm pretty sure this season has been like reminiscing of the first season because I think the producers want to do this kind of a tribute with it being the final season and all. Amenadiel and Mazikeen made some progress with their friendship and it was fine. It's kind of smart they did the Ella and Carol thing previous episode so that they can fully focus on the good shit this episode. Also, the cartoon thing, I've seen it before in multiple TV shows and movies, most recently Legends of Tomorrow and Space Jam 2. But Lucifer did it like an Adult Swim meta jokey kind of thing, like, so it didn't turn out cringe and lame. Like, Space Jam was very cringe. Like I said, this episode is my episode of the season, unless a better episode comes along. Episode 4. Okay, what the hell was that ending? Like, Mom, what the hell is going on? Like, I am so confused. Also, like, with this episode being all about Lucifer doubting his daughter, I think she's actually Michael's daughter and she probably mistook Lucifer as her dad since both Michael and Lucifer has the same face. Or she could be from the future. You know, time travel is a huge part of DC, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did that if they did that in the show, but that's like a comic book thing. Like, I don't think every fan of the show knows that this is a DC show, although there's a giant DC logo at the end of every episode, but still it's odd for the show to go into science fiction. Like, this is more science fantasy than science fiction. Also, I really liked Dan this episode. He's amazing as always. Like, he's probably like my favorite character in the entire show. I mean, poor man, I feel bad for laughing at him. Like, that scene where he's watching Chloe and Trixie cry, like, like that was absolutely heart bleeding. Like, also, this is the first time Trixie has appeared this season. Eve is still missing. Ella is busy with her Sage Toad summon Naruto style. Carol is also gone. And the whole, like, stop keeping secrets thing. Yeah, man, like, I've seen that shit way too many times in dramas, animes, webtoons, etc., etc. Like, I do wonder how the fuck Dan managed to go up and down Lucifer's penthouse's, like, elevator. This episode was very plot driven, with a few filler scenes to fit the 45-minute mark. It's like the show read my mind. There aren't any like boring crime shit anymore. Unless the next episode has one. I'm sure one of the future episodes will have one at least, because it's the show's main thing. Episode 3 is still my favorite, although this episode comes like close behind. Dan is just so great. Episode 5. The first half of this episode was very iffy, but the second half redeemed it. The first half was extremely predictable. I literally called out the time travel stuff in the previous episode, and yeah, it turned out to be time travel. And her name's not Elaine Bellick, apparently it's Rory, short for Aurora. She's similar to Elaine, but she also vary in many different ways. And I don't think I like the Rory actress's acting. She's unnecessarily edgy and doesn't really feel like it doesn't feel right. And on the other hand, Chloe and Dan's acting was so good in that ending scene. Like, it was so good. I was thinking this would definitely be my least favorite episode, but then Lucifer versus Chloe happened. It was unexpected, and I really liked Lucifer holding back and Chloe breaking down after realizing that she's losing control of this thing and she's becoming a monster. Like, the main villain of the season is still unclear. I think it's gonna be Rory. Oh, and yeah, Eve is back. That Ella cliffhanger. I would actually love it. Like, I would actually prefer it if Ella just found out through her forensic investigations and he just sussed it out rather than someone telling her, I have no idea what the deal with the frog is. Like, wait, what if the frog turned out to be Throg from Loki here from the multiverse? Nah. But what if the frog turned out to be the main villain? Like, yeah. My favorite scene in this episode would be when Chloe couldn't see Dan anymore and she kept speaking and Dan just had to listen to her and could do like nothing about it. Like, I do feel like this scene would have been better if Trixie was in it, but this was also pretty damn good. Like, it was so good. Episode 6. This episode made me care about Amenadiel's police story. Like, I've been ignoring it, like, they haven't really focused on it. It did the racism thing much better than Batwoman Season 2 or, like, any other thing ever. It's probably as good as Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but Falcon and Winter Soldier had more politics. Also, what's with Rory? Like, what the hell is Lucifer supposed to do? She's blaming him for the things he hasn't done. And he's trying to make up for those. Like, I get where she's coming from. And yeah, she'd want to let out her frustration on him, but you gotta know that he's trying to be a decent father. Well, anyways, Ella's onto them. Like, she's about to suss them out. And Carol totally disappeared after, like, episode 2. I thought he'd appear in this episode since this was so police focused, but he didn't. I still don't like Rory's acting. This episode was good, not my favorite, but it was good. Episode 7. This is probably my least favorite episode. Yeah, sure, the big reveal at the end was great, but my dislikes outweigh my likes here. This was like the episode that everyone showed up, even Carol and Trixie, like, and freaking Adam. Like Adam. And yeah, I have to admit that Adam's scenes were funny, but it was very unnecessary. He was only there to create unneeded drama between Eve and Maze. The drama was so unbearable because I knew they were gonna get married either way. I didn't even watch the trailer, I just knew it. And this episode was also pretty woke. Like, they could have pulled out the Adam is a dick joke without including toxic masculinity. That was also unnecessary. Heck, even Adam said, I can't handle the wokeness. Also, what's with Rory? I thought she was 22 or something, and I was going, what the fuck's your problem? You're a grown-ass woman, and you're still mad daddy didn't come buy your clothes. And guess what? She's even much older than 22. Like, what the hell? Like, you're a grown-ass woman. You're a full-on adult. Acting like a fucking teenager. The drama in the previous episodes were mostly unnecessary, but they built character and they were good. The drama in this episode feels forced, like Adam just showed up out of nowhere, like he just showed up out of thin air and stirred drama between Eve and Maze. And Rory, yeah, why daddy didn't come and I'm much older than 20. Yeah, like what the hell? They could have written the drama in much better ways. I did enjoy Dan and Ella this episode, like they're always so amazing. I feel bad for the Adam actor though. He's like mocked. Also poor Carol. And so yeah, the world is ending. They're probably gonna sulk around for another episode until they start doing something. But if the sulking is done with good acting and dialogue, I might actually like it. Episode 8. I thought they'd sulk around. I mean, they did sulk around later in the episode, but it was decently written. I loved this episode as much as I loved episode 3. Also, like, why do they not show us the angels flying up? Like, the only time they actually showed an angel flying to heaven was when Amenadiel was carrying Charlotte Riches back in, like, season 3 or 4 or something, like. Anyways, this had a lot of character progression and tributes to the first season. Like I really like that Ella and Dan communication scene. It made me tear up a bit, and I feel like that Linda's insecurities are like actually well written and it actually makes sense. I still don't like Rory. Both her character and acting is bad. Her problems don't really make sense. And now I'm gonna jump into the next episode. Episode 9. Oh my god. The entire episode was so hard bleeding, but like oh god, like Lucifer saying goodbye to Mazikeen, Amenadiel, Ella, like and Dan, like Dan using that guy's body to communicate with Trixie. It was so good. Like it was so good. But the ending, like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean that random dude, like, come on, like, how's he even holding a fucking angel with blade wings, a hostage? Well, unless like an angel or demon possessed him or something. Well, let's see the finale. But yeah, this episode was crushing. Okay, so episode 10, the finale. Like, for the first half of the episode, I was very disappointed. Like, I wouldn't say disappointed, it was more like anticlimactic. I mean, he's fought the goddess of creation, the first murderer who has immortality, and a bunch of demons, and a bunch of angels, and a random guy with a gun was gonna kill him. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen. And he became a devil therapist. It ended well. Like, I never really liked Rory, and I mean they did manage to make it quite sad, but and that montage at the end, so good, so nostalgic. Like, I'm really glad they did that. And the season overall, I would rate it I would rate it 8.3 out of 10. Tom Ellis is a phenomenal actor, and he did an amazing job putting Lucifer in a roller coaster of emotions. He went from devil rebelling, like he was like bored of hell, and he came to Earth, and in season 4 he became God, and in season 5, and in the beginning of this season he was trying to be a loving God, and then it went to trying to be a decent father, and then he gave it up to be a like devil therapist. Like, he is easily the best charm of the show. But my favorite character is Daniel Espinosa. He was used as the comic relief, but he turned out to be so good. Like, it was so good. And yeah, that's I guess that's my review for Lucifer. It was overall, it was a pretty good show. Season one. I didn't like season one at all. Like, it was very disappointing. And season two was good. Season two, the whole mother thing was good. Season three was wait, what was season three? Oh yeah, Kane thing. Yeah. I don't remember much about season three, so I guess it was okay. And season four was my favorite before this. Like, it had Eve, it had the whole team, and Lucifer turning into a like full on devil mode. It was epic. And season five was good with Michael and God. Yeah, season 5 was pretty good. And season 6 is, yeah, season 6 overall is so good. It had a few inconsistent episodes, but yeah, it was so good. So yeah, thank you for watching.